Ever wonder what it's like to dine like a king or a queen? Think lavish, bizarre, and downright shocking. How about roasted peacocks with their feathers reattached? Entire dining rooms spinning as you eat? Or live animals served as entertainment? These aren't your average dinner parties. Stick around as we uncover the wildest, weirdest, and most jaw-dropping royal feasts in history. In medieval Europe, roasted peacock was the star of the show. But it wasn't just about eating it. The feathers were reattached to make it look alive. Guests would marvel at its beauty before digging in. Fun fact, the bird was sometimes stuffed with spices to improve its flavor, which was notoriously tough and bland. Louis XIV of France, known as the Sun King, hosted feasts that lasted for hours, but his midnight buffets were the stuff of legend. These meals included dozens of courses, from whole roasted swans to jellied eels. Guests were encouraged to eat until they could eat no more, quite literally, as vomiting mid-meal wasn't uncommon. The Ottoman Sultans took luxury to new heights. Their feasts included dishes like candied eggplant and stews with gold flakes. A single feast could feature over 300 dishes, and leftovers weren't wasted. They were distributed to palace staff and the poor. Heliogabalus, the Roman emperor, threw banquets so bizarre they became infamous. One time he served dishes made entirely of roses. Another time he released live leopards and lions into the banquet hall, claiming it was entertainment. Queen Elizabeth was a sugar fanatic. Her feasts featured sugared fruits, candied flowers, and even sugar sculptures of castles and ships. But all that sugar had a downside. Elizabeth's famously blackened teeth became a trend among the wealthy, who blackened their own teeth to emulate the Queen. In 1520, King Henry VIII of England and King Francis of France hosted a banquet to outshine each other. It featured dishes like whole roasted oxen, gilded pastries, and fountains flowing with wine. The event was so extravagant it was nicknamed the Field of the Cloth of Gold. In 1903, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia hosted a winter banquet so lavish it was like a scene from a fairy tale. The menu included stuffed sturgeons, caviar, and flaming desserts. The dinnerware? Solid gold, of course. But this extravagant feast took place just years before the fall of the Russian Empire, a chilling reminder of its excesses. Mongol leaders like Genghis Khan kept it simple but bizarre. Their feasts often featured horse meat and fermented mare's milk called airag. They believed eating the heart of an animal gave them strength, a tradition that terrified their enemies and impressed their allies. One of the most infamous feasts in history is the Banquet of Chestnuts, hosted by the Borgia family in 1501. It's said that the meal included a scandalous mix of food, wine, and entertainment by courtesans. Whether myth or fact, it's a feast that has kept historians talking for centuries. Feasts in feudal Japan were a mix of simplicity and artistry. The tea ceremony included small, beautifully arranged dishes like pickled plums and sweet bean jelly. Each dish was carefully chosen to reflect the season, a stark contrast to the over-the-top banquets of Europe. Roman Emperor Nero dined in style, in a rotating dining room. Guests were served delicacies like flamingo tongues and dormice stuffed with nuts and honey. The room was designed to rotate to mimic the heavens, making dinner feel like a divine experience. In England, King James loved swan feasts. Swans were reserved for royalty, and eating them symbolized power and wealth. These birds were roasted whole and adorned with herbs and spices to impress guests. Even in war, Napoleon Bonaparte didn't skimp on meals. He carried silver dining sets and enjoyed dishes like roast chicken and truffles. His personal chef traveled with him, ensuring that no matter where he was, he dined like a king. Known for his extravagant lifestyle, King George IV of England was a notorious glutton. His feasts included dishes like turtle soup, beef Wellington, and towering desserts. A single meal could last for hours, leaving even his guests in awe of his appetite. From peacocks in their feathers to feasts that symbolized empires, these royal banquets weren't just meals, they were spectacles of power, excess, and sometimes downright absurdity. Which feast surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more fascinating dives into history's quirks.